Music is bad, you should feel bad. You should feel bad. Your music is...
All right, welcome to Your Music is Bad and You Should Feel Bad. This is our ProgPower Debrief episode. Because I went to it, so we might as well talk about it. All right, let's see. I got the lineup here. Now, we're going to try to keep this one real efficient, because
I'm not a glutton for punishment today.
Right.
Because I have to get on a 6-hour plane flight tomorrow.
Right.
And
you don't want, this music stuck in your head for that flight. We'll keep the actual examples to a minimum also, because since we're streaming, it's more likely to get flagged and shit. And I don't think we'll need too much anyway. So, first off, it's now officially 4 days, right? Pre-show is Wednesday, Thursday, and then the main show is Friday, Saturday. But it's technically called days 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is extra confusing though, because they still make sure to be at one point I looked at the website for the lineup and it was ProgPower days 3 and 4, and then you scroll down and it's 1 and 2, and you're why are they in that order? It's because it's important that you know which is the real show and which is the pre-show. So the first day, Wednesday, was Power Quest, Serenity.
I can't believe Power Quest is still around,
Well,
actually.
that was part of the thing. I think it was one of those I don't know if maybe they aren't. I mean, I don't think they made any big deal about it being a reunion or anything, but I was definitely oh, is that still a band?
Well, how many people were on stage?
So about the thing about Power Quest,
I thought there was only 2 people in the band.
I don't remember caring enough to notice. Okay, so I don't know if I really watched. I think I came in and saw enough of them on the monitor, because they have the show on all the monitors.
Wait, all 4 days is in?
Yeah, it's all in the main room now.
It's no longer in the bar.
Right, it's all in the main venue in the room,
loft,
and that's good. But yeah, I came in and I was yeah, I don't need to watch much of this, so I didn't.
Understood.
And that's pretty much all I have to say about Power Quest. So the next band, Serenity, though, is interesting.
The band named after the spaceship on the sci-fi show.
Except they're not. I mean, they're definitely not. But
oh, really?
no, yeah, no. They're not. They're well. So here's what they're.
I just assumed.
No,
Are they just very not metal? Are they just very serene?
No, it's not. It's just.
Is it a George Costanza Serenity now?
It's so okay. So Sarah put a good perspective on these guys, because the last time they played ProgPower, I missed them.
I wouldn't say you missed them.
Well, right, but here's the thing. So I wasn't sure, because I was I thought it might have been hilarious, because I think it might have been the portable radio year, or maybe. No, it wasn't that year.
No,
it was
because I at least would have remembered that I didn't go see the band.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing is, they had a lot more people in the band, I thought, last time. Again, I missed their set, but I remember watching a clip and okay, this looks like it might be funny, but I don't. But if I miss it, I won't be that upset. But they had this really hot singer. So there's their main dude singer, and then there's this chick who I think she was just a guest on the album, but they got her to come to ProgPower and to come to America, and it was a big fucking deal.
Wait, where are they from?
They're from Austria, but I think she was French or something.
Okay.
And so there's another reason I was well, maybe I'll catch their set, and I didn't, and I'm all right, well, I'll catch them this time. They didn't bring the other singer.
Oh, okay.
And they also only had drums, bass, and guitar, so it was a 4-piece, and there's so much keyboards and shit on the album. It's
and they weren't playing to a MacBook or anything.
They might have been, because a lot of people are using backing tracks now, and they might have had tracks, but
everyone,
the problem
especially
is,
all these
what
fucking
happens
prog
is
shows we go to.
There's only 2 ways that people mix backing tracks: way too loud, way too quiet. So either you can't hear them, or they're overpowering all the instruments you think you want to hear. And so I thought, from what I'd heard of them, I expected a lot of keys, and it's sort of, I thought it was fantasy metal, but Sarah kind of corrected me on that. It's not so much that it's fantasy as it's supposed to be historical. It's supposed to be based on history. And the interesting part of that, as Sarah was saying, is that one of the members of the band is like a history professor. But she was like, that seems odd because their songs seem to be a very like whitewashed, very oddly positive version of history. And I was like, and is it like, you know, the exact like Middle Ages Anglican history we would expect, like the sort of the fantasy history, the history that is used as the model for fantasy, even though fantasy, with maybe the exception of like Game of Thrones because of the whole like horribleness of it, but there's still like magic and dragons and shit. But aside from, you know what I mean, like it's always like this rosy like King Arthur, you know, like the wonderful
chivalry,
right,
and,
chivalry and like being a good thing. Like, and it's like you look into it and you're like, maybe that shit should be dead, you know.
I really, if we're talking about history and we're talking about this, I have to mention this. Okay, so the other day, I don't know if she's the CEO or the CTO. She's a C-level at YouTube. Was on Charlie Rose.
Okay.
And it was insane. She said so much dumb bullshit. And I want to point out that we are live streaming both to Facebook Live and to YouTube. So whatever.
Well, we're live streaming to Facebook. We can't do both at the same time.
Okay. Well, it will end up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But the most absurd thing she said was because she was talking about like, you know, like YouTube being a platform to communicate or whatever, right? And was talking about their global reach, and I have no idea what their reach statistics are. And then she goes, and it's crazy. I mean, because she's like, imagine if, when the printing press came out, like if like 20% of women couldn't read. And I was like, wasn't it like 90% of all people couldn't read, and like 99% of women couldn't read? I don't know the actual number,
right.
But I'm pretty sure on this that like the whole thing about the oppression in the Middle Ages was that the only people who could read were the nobility and the clergy. Yeah, and it was because the clergy were the ones who spent all the time copying the Bible, which, fast forward to me being in all private Catholic high school, was what they make you do at detention, is pretend you're a Middle Ages monk and copy the Bible. Anyway, just had to get that out there on historical inaccuracies.
Right, and that's very much... Okay, so like...
and these guys were from Austria. Not really sure.
Right, okay, so that was the next point, which is that at some point I was like, it's just, it's about history, and so I'm sure it's this typical whitewashed fantasy thing. But then I was like, wait, they're from Austria? That might be a little more concerning then if they suddenly have a rosy version of European history. And I was like, uh-oh. And like it was just, I don't know, they were so boring. It was just like they sound like a product, you know how like
it was very This Is Prog,
right? But not even prog. It was just this is like power, but not but power metal. Like with like again, if you can't hear the keyboards, power metal just sounds like any other bad metal. Just
sounds like trad metal.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, it was super straightforward, and I didn't stay for much of it.
Did they have majorly overplayed solos or no?
No, that's the thing. There was not. I was like, why is that? I mean, I think it's the. Maybe they come off quote unquote symphonic on their albums because there's a lot of fake strings, but it was so like, I was like, I didn't miss anything the last time.
I'm willing to bet the people who, when you can't hear their backing tracks, it's because what they did is they took the track from the album and they just like exported it.
Right.
They didn't like normalize it, right? Because the sound guy is expecting it to be like, if the keyboard player's live, they're going to play it one volume. Because the sound guy does not want to ride the faders. Right. Sound guy wants to sound check and then not do anything.
Yeah. Well, and the other part of that is the theory I had, which is that a lot of bands I think a lot of the newer bands, or should we say, the earlier on the schedule ones at ProgPower, because they're constantly like getting those, new and exciting bands that I've never heard of. That's what it's always like. Whenever they announce the next, it's like the first few bands are almost always who? Like,
right, I've never heard of these people.
I think part of that is that like, there's no way all these bands play shows regularly. So some of them are coming out here.
They don't know what they're doing.
And, right, exactly. Because, and that means, explains why all their tones suck, even if they have their own gear, because they're not like playing regularly and going, oh, gee, people keep coming up to me and telling me my guitar sounds like shit. Maybe I should fix that. And they can't, they're not testing out their tracks, finding out how the audience reacts, that kind of stuff. So, and there's more later in the one band that made me realize all the other bands sound like they don't play shows, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
So the main thing was, Sarah was like, it's weird how they get from this guy who definitely knows the real history to the history that's in their songs. And I was like, and then as I was watching them, and they said something, because I didn't know they were from Austria until they like said it, and I was like, oh no, that's the history. I'm like, so.
And
anyway,
well, I need to point out that this podcast has been upgraded from woke to super woke.
Yes.
So I did this like a month ago, but I've been in California, so I don't know if people can tell. Like, there's now an added layer to my wokeitude.
And then I forgot. This is the best part of this. So after Serenity is Orphaned Land, who's from Israel, and then I realized, oh my god, the Jews came out and they replaced the Austrians. I was like, that's the thing those dudes were afraid of. It's the Jews replaced them.
I'm not sure it was specific to at Terrible Power.
But then the headliner was Haken, and they're British. So then the British come in and just fuck everything up.
Right, yeah.
Because Orphaned Land was at least significantly better than Serenity. But then Haken, the British come in and just ruin everything.
So I used to work with this British guy, and he had relocated to here in the U.S. and I, was asking him about that, and because like I've at times thought like, oh, it'd be cool to like move abroad, whatever. But I'm just like, yeah, but it just wouldn't work. And I'm like, how did you feel about that? And he goes, I've never met an ambitious British person. Those were his words. And I go, didn't you guys used to rule the world? And he goes, in the characteristic British dry wit, used to. Right. It was so great.
Like Eddie Izzard had a great bit where he was like, when he was a kid, and like the guidance counselors or whatever they call them would be like, what do you want to be? And he'd be like, oh, I want whatever. And he'd be like, all right, well, you're British, so scale it down a bit. And then he'd be like, okay, well, now the whole bit escalates as him being like, okay, but you're British, so scale it down a bit. And yeah. So it's like, might be a preview of where America is going to end. Like, if you want to know what it's going to be like when we're no longer on top.
Is Britain like the peaked in high school?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
well, maybe not, because I think the peaked in high school is usually like because you were really hot.
Oh yeah. All right. So Orphaned Land. All right. So for a while, I really liked Orphaned Land, mainly because Mabul is good.
I never got into it. And I feel like I need to listen to all that stuff again, because a lot of people, and not just like people who go to ProgPower, like people who listen to different stuff were like so hyped on that stuff, and it just never resonated with me. But maybe I was listening to the wrong stuff, or I wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Here's how I feel about it. Because I've revisited. It's Mabul, and then the one after it is pretty good. The one after it, The Never-Ending Way of Ore Warrior, was produced by Steven Wilson, so it's like their best sounding record. But when I go back and listen to them, I realize that it's really just like they both have a few standout tracks that I think are really good, but like the overall album, and I'm pretty sure both concept albums, as is the newer one, All Is One, but none of them are like grab me as like, like when you, in my opinion, and I have a lot of opinions about concept albums, a good concept album, like, to some degree, you shouldn't be able to avoid, like, at some point picking up on the fact that it's a concept album.
Yeah, I definitely missed that on these, by the way.
Yeah. Well, the one that's Mabul is kind of, more obvious because partially just because of the crazy lyrics and stuff, and like and that there's literally like it's about the flood. It's about like the and there's literally a song called The Flood, and Mabul means
the flood. That's what I was gonna say.
And that's the most like obviously concepty one. The next one sounds like it's a concept. I don't know what it is. Never bothered to find out, and I don't really care now. And then the newest one, All Is One, is like the concept of their band in its most obvious format, and it's also their most straightforward album. And it's like way heavier on the clean vocals which I didn't even notice because I didn't. I maybe listened to it all the way through once. I don't know if I even got all the way through it. It's just, I don't know if there was some lineup changes, but the main thing is like Mabul has a few songs with some cool riffs in them, right? And then you add that to the Middle Eastern sounding stuff, and that's kind of what was cool. And the next one has a few songs like that. And then by All Is One, it's sort of really straightforward. And I feel like whoever wrote the cool riffs is gone. And I know there were some key guitar player changes, but I don't really know all the specifics. And also Mabul was like this whole thing that like took them years to put together. And so I feel like Mabul was the thing, and like it also is what got everyone's attention. And
now they're just doing
and
stuff.
They're never gonna like do that again.
Yeah.
But even when I go back and listen to it, it's not like it holds up in terms of the structure of the whole album.
Right.
It's just there's a few really cool songs, and the overall, it's cool that like because it's sort of based more on biblical stories, but I'm pretty sure they still made up some stuff to kind of have their message or whatever. And their whole All Is One is their message, is that like all of these related religions can get along, and everybody stop fighting, and like let's have peace in the Middle East or whatever. And like I saw some posts like literally today where they were saying, they get a lot of, I guess they get like flack about. Well, here, I'll just pull it up. But like they're basically saying like we're a protest band. We've always had this same message, and like, so people giving us shit about it is dumb. And I'm like, yeah, that is dumb. Like, don't they get like your deal? But if they want to, here's some things they could have given you shit about. It's like, so yeah, so like
right.
here's a post just yesterday. Each time we have some sort of criticism or anger towards someone or something, people who failed to understand us wave against us with the All Is One message, saying all is one or all is bullshit, as if they were, I don't know, this is English, but the point is he's like, it's a protest band, and we have been since 1991, and that's like what our music's about. It's about uniting people with different beliefs and all that, and that's good. And so like I can only go so hard criticizing the latest album because like it's the most straightforward, but it's probably also the one that will get that message across
so
the most to some
people.
people.
I was going to say,
like,
maybe they're trying to make accessible stuff.
Exactly.
Because maybe they're like, well, we didn't blow up as a metal band, so like maybe we should do something that will reach people.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think there was some post they made at some point about like the new album, the harsh vocals are coming back or something. So like I didn't even notice that they had stopped doing them. I just noticed there were more clean vocals, because I also don't think I finished listening to All Is One because it was just I was bored. And to me, it was like hitting me over the head with their message. Like there's a song called Brothers, and it's like it's exactly it's like these brothers, but like maybe they like are separated, and then they meet each other later, and it's like, oh no, we are fighting, but we are brothers. And it's like I get it. I thought
you were gonna be like, it's like We Are the World, but as a metal song.
No, but yeah. So that's their deal.
No,
but
my thing was like I said, everyone was high on this band, and I listened to it, and I didn't really care. And then they were on a show with someone I wanted to see. Like it was a really weird bill. I think it was like Swallow the Sun or somebody. Mm-hmm. And they were awful.
Yeah, well, so here's what happened. The first time they played ProgPower was awesome, but that was mostly Mabul.
What year was that?
Jeez,
I don't think I was there. It's not super important.
Yeah,
I was just curious.
It was all they had, like Mabul, and then the new one was like On the Way. So they played like the cool songs that I still like from the new one, and so there wasn't a lot of clean vocals, and that's very important because I'm pretty sure their singer is tone deaf, and here's why. So he always had some pitchiness stuff, but like if you start off just being like a death metal band, and then you try to add melodic vocals, it's going to be tricky. But the thing is, and so at first I was just like one of two possibilities: A, he's adjusting to it, or B, my hypothesis, without bothering to really like investigate too aggressively, was there was some possibility that like there's maybe like some Middle Eastern tuning system that he's more acclimated to, like maybe growing up around maybe traditional Middle Eastern music, which I'm sure has some different or may have some different tuning melons. I don't know. The point is I didn't look into it, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's that it's coming from a different frame of reference. But now it's been like a decade,
right? No,
and
if you can't,
I'm pretty sure he's just tone deaf,
right,
because
if you can't pick that up,
because the shows are getting worse. And again, part of it is like he's singing so much melodic stuff, and the thing that clinched it for me is they had tracks. So the backing vocal tracks were like like
in tune,
in tune with the guitar, and then also they're playing the same melodies on a guitar, which is clearly in standard Western 12 tone. So it's like, he's just not great singer. And the other thing is, like, he wasn't a great death metal vocalist either. He kind of had one tone. It wasn't great, and it wasn't processed super great. So like even on Mabul, I was kind of like, the vocals weren't great even on that. But whatever. So but there's some tracks on Mabul that I still think are really cool. But again, it's like the novelty also wore off, right? Like, so at first it's like, you're American and into like metal, and then you're like, oh, it's a band from Israel and they sound Middle Eastern, and also it's about stuff, and also for me at the time I was like, Jew metal, even though technically it's like not Jew metal, because the whole point is that it's for everybody,
right?
Even though they might maybe Jew, I think they're Jews, but still I was like, fucking Jew, and it's biblical and shit. So I told all my Jew friends about it, like Jew metal, but now it's just like metal that's like, hey guys, let's get along. I'm like, all right, good for you. I hope it works. You're right. I hope it works, but I don't need to listen to it. But anyway, so I was just really, the whole time I was like, he's really trying, but he's been doing this a while. Probably should have figured it out by now. And that was Orphaned. Oh yeah, and then the headliner that night was Haken playing their album Visions, which I listened to once all the way through, and I never shall again.
I didn't make it all the way through.
It's also the and there are other, like, I'm not a big fan of Haken, but they're at least the more recent two albums I'd much rather listen to those, because this one is like their Dream Theater clone album. Like, it really just sounds like a Dream Theater clone band, the kind that you don't see as much anymore, which I think is terrific, because you're like, finally people stop just trying to like straight up copy Dream Theater. But yeah, so the first day I was just like, not a whole lot going on. So Thursday was Next to None open.
Oh, man.
I didn't watch a second of them because I've seen them so many times,
and I keep forgetting that they were on this bill. Like, every time it comes up, I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And for people who don't know the thing, it's Mike Portnoy's son, and Portnoy was like headlining this whole festival. So,
and also Next to None opens like every metal show in New York now, and every prog metal show, right, yeah, but
every vaguely progressive prog show.
And they also only had a half hour. I don't know. I was like, I don't need to see them again.
That's plenty of time.
So, okay, so this one's interesting. So after Next to None was Twilight Force, and my impression...
Wait, Twilight Force or Forest?
Force.
Okay.
Like a
impact.
Yeah. Now, from watching a video of these guys, my theory was that they are big fans of Rhapsody, and then one day, they're listening to Rhapsody, playing D&D, and they're like, our D&D game should also be a band. Like, like we should also make metal about our D&D game. And then so they did, because like it seemed to me from the video, like,
where are they from?
They're from Sweden.
Okay.
And which is another interesting thing we should talk about at some point, which is I think like it's really interesting is that I feel like Sweden has the best and also the worst music.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're really like, and more, I keep finding more examples. Like I know plenty of good examples, right? But I keep finding more bad ones. And so when people are like, oh, Sweden has the best music, it's like, yes, but they also have the worst music.
Well, no, again, because like if you are funded indiscriminately,
Right, and that's probably part of it is they have
it allows
there's so many
everything to exist.
so much more of a chance for people to be moderately successful playing music and not have to get a job.
Well, I would say there's a way to pay your bills irrespective of what your musical output is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So my thing was like,
Oh shit, I just realized though, right? If the tax rate, like Max Martin is essentially subsidizing all of this.
oh shit. Oh yeah, because
Isn't that
he's paying the
crazy?
most taxes. Whoa. Wait. But does he still even live in Sweden?
Well, you gotta figure, I mean, like,
Because Dr. Luke, I think, might also be Swedish, and he lives definitely, I think, in LA now.
but you think they would have something where like they're not paying any taxes at all? Because admittedly,
I don't know.
I know the US is the most aggressive about if you make income in a different country. So it could be the kind of thing where like, yeah, like just they leave and they don't even have to get rid of their citizenship and they're not really paying too much taxes back. But at the same time, if they have national pride, they might,
Yeah.
it might be like, they're like, well, I give or write checks anyway because I'm
Yeah.
loaded. Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
we have
that's
to look into
homework.
that.
Homework
We
for
have to
next
find-
episode.
For music, we'll be like, we're gonna find out like Max Martin has been bankrolling all this music. He's the George Soros of music. He's been paying all these shitty bands to play bad music just to fuck. He's paying. Well, the music wars theory will be that Max Martin is bankrolling all the shitty Swedish bands. So that in order to ruin metal, right? To be like, see, Twilight Force, metal is terrible. You should listen to more pop music. That's the conspiracy. Anyway, so the point is that I'm really like bearing the lead here is that Twilight Force, at least some, okay, they're not all dressed like elves.
Well, are they all elves in their D&D campaign?
Well,
Maybe
right,
somebody's a
probably not.
dwarf and somebody's
So-
like a halfling.
I can answer those questions. The guitar players are elves, and they're wearing like ears and like
Sweet, it's like Rev Gen core.
and like a bandana over like black thing over their like mouth and nose because they're elf ninjas, I
No,
guess.
that lets you know that they're dark elves.
Oh, right.
Right? They're not like wood or high elves. They're
Right.
dark elves.
Just not like
so they're like the more
physically
metal
dark
evil ones.
because they're still like white dudes from Sweden.
Right? No. Dark elves. They're still pale. They
Well, it
just
depends
only
on
hang
which
out-
mythology. Sometimes they're literally
they hang
dark.
out in really dark places, so you can't.
So it
see,
it
can't see
depends
how,
on your.
Can't see how pale they are.
It depends on which campaign setting you're using.
Are we?
And,
Is this third edition?
oh right, yeah.
or,
I don't even know.
Is this Forgotten Realms? You gotta get your
Right.
You gotta get your.
So the singer is like the warrior guy. Like he's not an elf, but he's got stuff on, and
You think
and-
he's a human?
oh, he's human. He's probably a fighter, and the keyboardist is a wizard. And not only is he dressed as a wizard, but in between songs, you know how Rhapsody has that terrible narration shit?
Yeah.
He did that every song. And not only that, but every time in between every song, he would in a dumb like in a voice kind of like this, like and then and like because and the thing is like I couldn't understand what he was saying like 90% of the time.
Was he trying to be like Grandpa Wizard kind of deal? Like,
He was just trying to be like wizard. I don't know. Like it was the thing. Like
I
it
was
was
gonna say this. It would have really made it for me if he was like a gnome illusionist. But it sounds like he's more like a gray beard human wizard.
yeah. I mean, so
I shouldn't have played Baldur's Gate immediately before coming over here.
yeah, I should have warned you. There's a D&D band in this one.
I should have known better.
There, so every song they would stop and the wizard would say some shit to like set the scene, but I could never understand what he was saying.
Right.
Oh,
That's
also,
why I wanted him to be an illusionist, because he's setting the scene and then also like weaving the image in your mind with the music. You see how perfect this is? Which is why I'm extremely disappointed if he's doing some fucking Sauron shit. Like, again, like wrong mythology. Like, well, who knows? Maybe they are on Team Lord of the Rings. Like, when you said Twilight Force, though, I imagined that they were like they were going to be like Lost Horizon, right? They were going to be like sci-fi power metal, whatever. Either or like 80s cartoon, like Gem, right? Like, because when you say Twilight Force, I literally see. You know how like 80s cartoons, at the end of the theme song at the beginning of the show, there would be that pan to like them standing there, and I imagined it was like Force. Right. I imagine it's literally it's a pan of the entire Earth, and then they're standing on like the atmosphere, and then there's stars in the background. Yet, despite the fact that they're in space, their long white hair is gently moving in the wind. Well, that's what I imagined.
The guitar players did have long white or blonde hair.
Yeah, because they're elves.
Right, they're elves from Sweden, and.
Isn't that? I mean, Sweden's pretty close to the North Pole. I mean,
right. Well, it's also where the elves come from.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But this is important. So every song, the wizard would make an announcement. Which the other reason that everything sounded terrible is because they ran everything through a MacBook, and including their backing tracks. So their backing tracks were inaudible, and the guitar sounded like just like a buzzing, a high pitched buzzing noise,
like a plug-in from 10 years ago.
Right. And it probably made them unmixable too. And the singer, what I expected from the video is I expected him to be, also because of him being a sort of like
the wizard. We're talking about the wizard.
No, sorry, the lead singer, the fighter.
The fighter.
He also he like was kind of like he I don't know if he was actually muscular, but he could have been. You know what I mean? Like he had the build. But so he looked like one of those dudes who like maybe. Because he just has a large lung capacity, is like, I can sing because I can yell real loud, but he doesn't have the technique. So instead, when he sings, all the air comes from him just having a large wind capacity, but it doesn't compress properly, and so it sounds like, pitched yelling. And I was half right. Like, he wasn't as bad as I expected, but there still was some like you could tell a part way into the set, because, he's singing like power metal style, which means you're constantly at like full belt.
Yeah.
You could tell if partway through when he started to kind of like hold on to the mic stand and kind of be like, like he would be like
literally winded.
Right. You're like, oh, did you not realize that singing an entire set like this would be difficult?
Because you've never played a show. Also, the one of the elves, the one who was like the lead guy who like could do arpeggios that you never got to hear because his tone was so bad that it would, it'd be like you see the hand movements and you're like, oh, it looks like he's playing a really cool arpeggio. People would be like, oh, and I'm like, fuck all of you. None of you can hear that. Like, don't act like you hear the arpeggios, because you don't. And on top of that, if you're not a great guitar player, it makes like sweep arpeggios even less coherent, because with a lot of gain, you can make it like a sound that sounds like, okay, it sounded like you played an arpeggio, but no one will ever know which one it was because the notes just kind of blurred together. And there's a lot of that happening at ProgPower every year also, since forever. Like, that's not a new thing. There's always been this thing, which it took me like probably a decade to figure out what was going on, but I was like, sometimes these guys look like they're playing sweet arpeggios, but I don't hear shit. And I hear them the rest of the time. It's like, oh, they're bad at them. They're bad at playing them, so they don't sound good. And so that's the magical secret to playing sweet arpeggios, by the way, is learn to play them good, and it sounds way better. But anyway, so... Also, though, the lead guy, in addition, so he kept like, he also had a cape, of course. Oh, nice.
And he kept
Wait, the fighter had a cape?
No. Well, also maybe. I'm not sure. But like the guitar players both, they didn't both have capes. But at least the guitar player did. I'm not sure. The point is, I bring it up because he kept doing this move with it. He kept like...
The wizard.
No, the elf, the guitar player elf.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like... Which is, it's more of like a vampire thing. Like, I expect him to keep, to do this, but he didn't. Right. He just would go out to the side as he would like frolic across the stage. And the reason he was frolicking across the stage is because every time they stopped for the wizard to say some shit, everybody else would leave the stage.
Would wander off, yeah.
And then they'd be like, when he was done with his spiel, here's the song. And they would come running out. But they did it every single song. And it was like, Well, they probably didn't have more songs, so it's not like they necessarily, were padding the set, but they were padding the set. Like, it was like, do you not realize that you could have played several more songs if you didn't do this every single song? Because they would leave and then come back out.
Well, it sounds like...
And then they would leave, and they would come back out.
It sounds like the singer could barely make it through the set. He needed all the help he could get.
I just think, like, it was, anytime it was not... It's the same deal with this kind of singer. Anytime it's not full belt, like you couldn't hear him. Like if he had to sing something lower, which didn't happen very often because they're not good at writing.
Dynamics. How do they work?
Right. Whenever there were dynamics, it'd be like, oh, and now you can't hear him. But oh man, they're so bad. So, all right.
Well, I have to say, your recollection of them is much more entertaining than I imagine actually seeing them would have been.
I don't know. It was they're. Also, of course, somebody brought like 40 inflatable swords, so there was the full contingent of.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
Because somebody Instagram storied, and they said swords, but it looked like something else.
Well, because they're inflatable, I'm sure they would like flop around. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
At best, it's like those noisemakers at a baseball game.
Yeah. All right. So, Twilight Force was just so aggressively bad.
Twilight Farce.
But exactly what people wanted from it. Like I remember, I heard somebody as I was leaving when they finished, or a little before somebody was leaving, going to the hotel, and they were just like, "That was so great." That was like they were just like that was. I think that's what they came for, and I was like. You mean like it was funny? Like, because I was like, it was hilarious, but I don't think on purpose. And the music was pretty bad. And also you couldn't hear anything. Everything was unintelligible. So I don't know.
Good thing they crossed an ocean to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Then Vanden Plas played, and
so that was literally the one band I would have like if I'd gone. I'd been like, oh, we have to go watch their set. Because they were pretty good last time, and they're one of my guilty pleasures. Because that guy's voice is just like, why would you sing like that? But it's like so weird that it's like kitschy, like it's funny, but you're like this is stupid, but it's also kind of cool. Yeah, but like I can't defend my.
Yeah, well,
but last time they did their set completely wrong. Like they opened with Rainmaker,
which they did again,
and you closed
right.
with that.
And here's the thing: I didn't think of that, and so like I was leaving at the end of Twilight Force because they only played an hour, and I didn't catch the beginning. So I came in, I was like, what? And then I couldn't leave because it was so fucking. And they kept leaving this. I was like, why do you stop leaving and coming back? Just leave,
just leave,
and then we're good. But so I went to get food. And I was like, I've seen Vanden Plas. They won't open with Rainmaker. They opened with Rainmaker, and so I missed it. And I came back. I caught like 2/3 of their set, and I kept being like, and then Rainmaker? What about the Rainmaker? Because that's the song that I'm like, they're gonna play Rainmaker.
That's the song.
But they opened with it like assholes.
Right?
So,
they did that last time too. I wonder if they played the same set list.
It's possible. I think they maybe had like at least one new song though.
At least when I saw them, they did play the hits, as it were, just in the wrong order. Just in the totally wrong order.
Yeah, exactly. Then Between the Buried and Me, which they played their album Colors in its entirety. And
so were there like a million local Atlanta people there to see them that
not a
like
million,
didn't go
but
to anything else?
Definitely were some because it was the only band with like a mosh pit of like 5 people. So it was still not a big mosh pit. So that was like told you. And then everyone on the mosh pit was like doubly annoyed versus every other metal show because they're all just like, they frown upon moshing here. It's like,
you remember there was like
a
petition last time anyone moshed.
Well, there used to be a thing about like, I don't know if it was Glenn or the venue, but there used to be a thing where it was like, no moshing, guys. No,
but that was like because
not allowed.
That was because no one would mosh to any of this, and then people moshed to Rage apparently, which I left for because they're terrible.
Yeah, and then people got mad.
Right, and then I think then it was like policy or whatever.
I think that's like faded into obscure, or like it's one of those rules that like attendees know, but everyone else is like, what are you talking about? Right. You know, like when James LaBrie spilled
Yeah.
in like a interview that he was going to be, that people were like, you don't talk about it. That's not, it's like, yeah, well, in general, there's lots of situations in which you might be asked not to announce something before a certain date, but A, it's James Labrie, and B, it's James Labrie. And what I mean by that is that A, he's doing well enough that he doesn't care. And I saw somebody also post like they were looking to interview him, and it was like his people say he is not taking interviews at this time. So that it's like James doesn't care. Like he's getting paid. It doesn't matter. And then the other reason is it's James Labrie, and he's a fucking goofus and just like, I'm playing ProgPower this year, guys. Like, yeah, of course you are. Whatever. And of course, like, you know how they have this new thing where a lot of the times people will make a special, like they make their own announcement video, just like with their webcam or phone, because everybody has a fucking video camera everywhere, and just being like, hey, ProgPower, really excited, whatever. None of that for James.
Right.
He's just like, oh, it's a gig, I'll do it.
He's like, I have people for this.
Right. So between the Buried and Me, Pay the Album Colors, I'm not that into them.
I can't get into this band. I actually listened to.
So,
they have some super long song. They have like a 30-minute song.
Yeah.
I guess it's like, like their prog opus or whatever.
Right.
It's not good.
I
listened to it like 2 weeks ago.
I think I saw them play that or something at another show. I saw them once before at like I think it was that Summer Slaughter tour, and had the same reaction this time. But it's one of those things where I had the same reaction, but I half forgot about it. They come out and they start off pretty good, right? Like I hear them and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like metalcore type deal. And like there was harsh vocals, which after like Twilight Force and like even a little bit Vanden Plas was a nice change, and it was kind of like, oh, this, because the festival, like ProgPower needs a little more metal.
You're like, I've been ready to rock for 4 hours now, and finally someone is doing it.
But then like it goes on, and I realize that it's like, so they were kind of like the prog metalcore band, right?
Yeah.
And that is so apt, because I realize as they go on, this is, I guess, an older album that's mostly harsh vocals, but he only has one type of harsh vocal.
Right.
And he just keeps doing it. And so that immediately gets old to me. 2, they have some cool riffs occasionally and cool parts, but like then there's nothing connected to them that makes any sense.
Right, no, there's
just a string of riffs.
Right, it's just like an idea in the middle of nowhere.
Right, which makes them they're totally a prog band, but like it's just that they're metalcore riffs.
Yeah.
And occasionally something that's not will be thrown in. But then, even then, like, they're guilty of the whole, like, Carney music thing, right? Where, like, at some point, they're like, it's going to be really idiosyncratic.
Right.
And I'm like, no, Carney music.
So what you're saying is exactly how I felt about Misery Signals, right? Is that it's like they just have these, every once in a while, they have a really cool idea. But it's metalcore, and then every once in a while, there's, like, a really cool idea, and then it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're doing something else.
Exactly. So that's how I felt about that. So I watched a little bit of it, a few songs, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is incoherent, so I'm good. And then Metal Church headlined, and I could not give a shit. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
What is with like old school super boring metal band? Didn't like Overkill play one year?
Yeah.
Well,
no, it's because if it's a band that like
that people know,
right? That people know,
that's familiar.
And like, yeah. And especially if they don't necessarily play a lot or whatever, or they haven't in a while.
And then Saxon played that one year, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the one where I came in and I caught the last note.
Leave them wanting more. So is that a thing? Is the fest by numbers now?
Well, no, it's right. It's one of the few.
Is there a boring trad metal band for next year?
Oh shit, that's a good question. Let's look that up.
Because now I'm curious. I mean, not because I want to see them, but just to see if
it's like, right, there's limited.
There's a formula.
There's limited. There isn't in the main. Oh wait, this has all of it. Okay. No, they didn't do that one next year. They
couldn't get anyone.
They're running out of things that either are exclusive or they can make seem exclusive,
or are available, like are not broken up and available to play at festivals.
Exactly, and so it's like something that A hasn't played before, B, maybe you can't see that often, even though they're going to tour around the festival. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know. And my whole thing is I started to post online being like, hey, what about this? Right. So like, I posted the other day. Well, first I posted at some people that they should get 12 Foot Ninja because they'll come here
my
anyway.
God. Yeah.
But they would like, they could totally like, but again, I just don't think the scene has heard of it. And
Why they're not terrible enough?
yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I really, it's like people who think they listen to all different kinds of metal, but it's really within a specific slice of it.
No, this is like no, this shit's garbage.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that I posted about was I was really disappointed that Fire Soul wasn't announced for next year.
Oh yeah.
And so I posted somewhere where I was like, you know, or maybe it was the like, you know, let's immediately start predicting the following year. And I was like, I was surprised Fire Soul wasn't announced. And Milton responded, and he was like, well, yeah, we need to hear some music first. And I was like, 11 Dreams, The Hours That Remain. And he was like, those are good songs, to which I replied, albums. And also, like, they were very clear that that's their direction, right?
Yeah.
They were like, it's that lineup-ish with some new people. And one of they listed like 20 songs or something that they have written and I think maybe even recorded. So like there's definitely going to be an album, and it may take a year to come out, but that's, you know, so get ahead of it is my thing. But again, my guess is it'll be for next year. It'll be announced for 2019.
I would actually go just to see them.
And that was the thing. I was like, they're really good, or they will be really good. But that was the thing. So I was like, yeah, they don't. I'm like, yeah, but they're literally you might as well consider it a Mercenary reunion,
Right.
And somebody had posted like, yeah, like that would be great, or Mercenary, like Mercenary past or present is great, and I'm like, but past is better. Specifically, these guys,
Yeah.
who have announced that they're forming a new band, and there's specifically even like a song that they were like, this is continuing 11 Dreams or something. So they're like
the 12th Dream.
Right.
Oh
right.
shit. Okay. So I totally forgot about this, and it's highly appropriate. Okay, so right before I came over here, I went to eat, and like 9th Street or something was blocked off for, you know, just like some street festival, and there were a few, you know, dudes with crates of records, and I was like, all right, maybe there will be something, you know, something magical. Not that I'm gonna buy vinyl, but whatever. I didn't even have to flip the first crate I walked up to. The first album right there, and I took a picture of this, was like something clearly from the 70s. And I asked the guy, I was like, is this funk or like, because it didn't look like disco. I was like, is this like funk or like R&B? And he's like, it's like funk. I'm like, but like not that funky, like not that fast. He's like, it's not that fast. He's like, there's a lot of ballads on it. The name was, I'm like, so now my curiosity is so piqued, okay? Because we've had previous discussions about how this name makes no sense, and now I find out that there's 2 groups that have had it. Seventh Wonder.
Oh shit.
Yes, the album was from like 78 or 79. It was late 70s. It was called Seventh Wonder. I took a picture of both the front and the back of the LP, so I could show you later. But like, yeah, the terrible bands that play this thing. I was like, oh my god, like, yeah, sorry, needed to get that out.
Yeah. So I just noticed the first half of this episode is not going to have video because I didn't switch over the splash screen. Anyway, you'll have audio. It's fine. We're not doing anything that exciting.
I'm not too pretty.
Yeah, there's no video examples have been used. So if you're watching / listening, you didn't really miss anything. Anyway, so
this is a professional show.
All right, so
we were talking about they don't have a trad metal band for next year because
Right.
Metal Church.
but that's definitely a recurring. Yeah, like it's interesting trying to figure out the way they select bands, and again, why they therefore didn't. But again,
We should just put on an actual festival, right? That's like, it's like Protean Collective, Ladder Math, see if we could get like Contortionist or somebody to
Oh,
show
yeah.
up and play. Like that could be like the big name.
Gent Adjacent Festival.
It would just be adjacent, like with the
Oh,
D
yeah,
and the
yeah,
J in like
adjacent.
all caps.
Adjacent Fest.
It could be Protean Collective, Ladder Math, Fire Soul. We could try to get like Contortionist or some other like big band with following, or like like see if everyone else would play for free to play on a festival with Meshuggah.
Yeah.
Fire Soul, like
Yeah.
that's 5 bands right there, and I haven't
Yeah.
even thought about this. Like we come up with 5 more. Oh,
yeah,
12
I
Foot
think it's
Ninja,
partially they need to like consider. I don't know if it would actually matter to the sort of base audience, but in terms of like, there is always an element of like bringing in people who don't go every year. But like, right, it seems like if it's Gent, they're like, oh, that's Gent and not Prog, and so let's not get that. And also, Gent bands, if you've heard of them, tour probably because
Right.
it's a new style of music and not an old one that's gradually on its last legs and it's trying to kind of hold it together. Okay, so day 3.
not a lot of progress in the scene.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the day that like the first 3 bands. All right, let me do this out of order. Angel Dust played on Friday, and Angel Dust played in 2001 at ProgPower 2. At the time, they were like, of the bands there, they were like in the middle, kind of, right? They were kind of
they were in the
good.
middle. They were in the middle of the day.
And I also mean in terms of quality. Like they were not, I mean, compared to like Symphony X and stuff and
Right.
Spiral Architect, but they were still good and like
Right, they were a coherent band. I
Right.
just don't like them.
right. So,
But they're not like comically bad.
right, and they're kind of more straight ahead. They're kind of trad metal.
They're very straight
but-
ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they so apparently this is what I didn't know is that apparently they did the reunion for ProgPower.
Okay.
I thought they happened to get back together and ProgPower booked them, but no, it's like Milton and Nathan were like, hey, remember when you were in that band? Would you want to do that again? And so they did it like, and just to come play ProgPower again, which is cool. And so like props to those guys for making that happen. And the thing was, even though they hadn't really been, I mean, I guess they probably had a year to practice or whatever, but aside from, that, which is technically just doing their job, they didn't sound like they had taken a break at all. They sounded really good. And it's also hard to say how much the sound guys are involved, but like they sounded better than the 3 bands that came before them and all the bands from the previous day. And
Well, they've played shows before.
right. That was the thing. I was like, this sounds like a band
they're
that has played
experienced
shows before.
musicians.
And that was the thing. Cause I was like, what is it with these other bands? And you could hear the instruments and everything before them kind of sounded like a combination of a low rumbling sound and a high pitched buzzing. The low rumbling was like,
Hey man, it worked for Korn.
there was the kick drums and the bass would just bloom into this, and I was like, usually there's something you can do about that if you're the sound guy. And usually part of your job is making sure this sound doesn't happen because it makes it impossible to hear anything in the low registers. And then on top of that, you have the guitars that either are badly played or they have bad tones, or even if they're using the back line, it's still just like sometimes it's their guitars. Like they one of these bands, because the first couple bands in this one I get confused because they're both just blah. But okay, no, it came back to me. I got it. Okay, the first band, Daydream 11. This is the all I remember about this band is that it wasn't great, and
I mean, the name's terrible, so...
but the main thing I remember that made me walk out was the guitar player slash singer started playing some tapping part that could have been played with one hand. Where it was like within like 4 frets, and I was just like, what? Why? And it wasn't like, you know, like you double up. You know, there's different reasons to do that. This was like, you could have just literally could have played that with one hand, and then like held up the horns with your other hand, and it's like, but no, like get the fuck out. So they were bad, and also they sounded bad and all the usual shit. Then Distorted Harmony came on after them. Distorted Harmony, I think maybe the problem was they had gent tone, because they had 7 strings. One of the dudes had like a multi-scale, and they had that, you know, again, high pitched buzzing.
Yeah,
like it's like
the paper shredding.
I get what you like. Taking out some of the low range is good, so the guitars sit in the mid range, but like it's like gent people have like continued to remove the lower, like they continue to remove lower frequencies until all there is like high mids, and it's just this like horrible like ice pick in the forehead sound.
Well, that's actually how you dial in the Meshuggah tone. It's literally all just treble.
Right, but they still have mids.
Right. Well, yeah, but the amp settings, like I don't know what's going on in post,
but I mean like the literal,
like
the important, the mid-range frequencies that are recognizable as a guitar sound are still there. They take out the low end, but they don't take out all the mid-range. And these do, it's like other people do, because like the part of it may be also the pickups, like the Lundgren pickups do that, but they don't take out all the mid-range. Like,
oh yeah, if you're playing like the EMG, like the stock ones, right? The EMGXs or whatever, or the stock, the fake Ibanez's, what were they called? I can't remember. The Cepheus, the Agiles, right? The Cepheus Alphas. Yeah, they're just terrible.
Well, but even like aftermaths, like there's so little mid. So the thing is, the point being, if you do that and you don't properly, you know, again, if you're not playing shows, you can tell that people can't hear your guitars at all. They're completely inaudible, or literally when you do hear them, all you hear is, you know, this like, or like this high pitched like noise that you can't like discern notes from.
The paper shredding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what it was like for Distorted Harmony. Also, I was like, I posted Distorted Harmony liked like all my Instagrams and one of my tweets. It was the tweet where I was like, if I don't hear some distorted, if the harmonies aren't distorted, I'm going to be pissed. But the joke they didn't get is that that's not a thing. Like, that's not, those two words don't like go together in musical terminology.
They're orthogonal.
The only way I could make sense of it is maybe when the singer was off pitch, technically it was a distorted harmony to the rest of the music. But other than that, it was like, that doesn't mean anything. But it was distorted. There wasn't any harmony. That was the other thing. I was like, maybe the one they didn't like was, are they fans of Fifth Harmony? Because similarly, there is no harmonizing going on. So
my new very accurate band name is The Distortionist.
And then
we're wicked steampunk.
And then the third band that I couldn't stand was Lords of Black. There was slightly...
Wait, someone's in that band. Who's in that band? There's someone in the band that I know who they are.
Are you sure? They're from Spain.
No. Oh. I feel like there could
be another Lords of Black.
Go on Metal Archives, right? Because it'll tell you all the other bands that people are
Lords
in.
Of Black.
Well, no, but if you go to there and then you go to members, it tells you all the other bands that the people are in.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Dudes are in a lot of bands. Oh, it's interesting that the vocalist, it claims he was in Rainbow.
But that could be like he was...
Wait. But it's interesting because he just is like a Dio clone.
Oh, okay.
Except he can't... It's like he's a Dio clone who can't seem to turn the grit off. So he, Dio is gritty, but then he can...
Look out!
Yeah, look out! But then he can turn it off and sing... And this guy, like I remember I watched a couple of their videos on YouTube, and there was one where I was like... Is this the ballad? But he's still singing like that? What is dynamics? No, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I was like. Was he actually in Rainbow?
He's Froggy Dio. Well, maybe. I mean, maybe. Because it's 40 years later.
That's true. Who else is in fucking Rainbow?
Right, you'll take whomever. Yeah, I don't think Richie Blackmore.
Right. Who's even in Rainbow?
Click on it.
Maybe it's like Rainbow. It claims to be the Rainbow. Unless, wait, 2015 to present.
Do they have some
he
really
added this?
Do they have some really sad reunion
Oh,
tour?
wait. They do, because look at all these. They do, but it's with Richie Blackmore.
That's what I'm saying, because it says Richie Blackmore.
Yeah, and 4 out of the 5 people listed here are 2015 to present. Wait, so it's not even going to list the original members?
so
There's so many other members of Rainbow.
No, I know, but you have to go to past
Oh,
numbers
you're
for that.
right, yeah. Oh,
no,
there we go.
but the current lineup,
yeah.
it's Richie Blackmore and a bunch of
these
random
dudes.
people. That's hilarious.
Including that fucking dude. That's
Okay,
interesting.
all right.
And Jens Johansson.
Okay, we need to go see them. Oh, yeah. Then I can ask Jens about the Yngwie story.
The one with the fish, or?
No, about being on retainer for Yngwie
Oh, yeah,
in the
yeah.
case of natural ice.
Oh, yeah.
He drank this stuff. It's called natural
Did you ever, he told some of the stories on the Symphony X mailing list back in the day, and one of them was when somebody like threw a fish up on the stage and it hit Yngwie in the face, and it was this whole thing about how it like both him and the fish, when it hit him, both him and the fish had the same expression on their faces. And then he just kind of sat there for a minute like dumbstruck because he got hit in the face with a fish. I don't know. All right. So anyway, but they were slightly more audible than the previous 2 bands, but they still had that low rumble shit going on that was just pretty bad. And there was sound issues the entire weekend this year.
I'm shocked.
And it was unfortunate. And that was one of the main ones, was that fucking low rumble
Okay,
shit.
he's billing it as Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. Tom Hamilton says Richie Blackmore's Rainbow reunion was, quote, a little flat. Now I'm really pissed that we missed this.
Yeah. That's a bummer. Oh, there's apparently a whole concert on YouTube though, so
Apparently Blackmore hadn't played live in 19 years.
oh, that might explain. Oh, it was probably very podcastable.
Oh, but it was a UK tour.
Okay.
Oh, but then they were going to do it again. Oh, the Facebook page is Blackmore's Rainbow. Okay, I got to look this up.
All right, so I can wrap up the rest of this day pretty easily. So we had Lords of Black, then Angel Dust, and then Myrath, which is this band from Tunisia that's sort of like, I mean, I know it's a different country, but they're sort of like Orphaned Land Light, because it's like metal with a little, it sounds vaguely Middle Eastern, but like more boring. And they're very, very popular. They're very tight. They're tight live band, and they always sound good. And the singer runs around a lot, and he's pretty good. Like they're solid. It's just their songs are terrible. And so every time they play, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are over. And then after like 30 seconds, I'm like super bored. And all their songs sound the same. I actually, I was in the shop the other day, and I was telling Paul about ProgPower, and he was like, you know, he's going to put something on to listen to. And he's like, oh, what's something from ProgPower? And I was like, oh, I don't really want to. I guess that band is like tolerable. But then he put it on, and like halfway through the song, he's like, yeah, but it kind of doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't.
They played 6 shows in June, all in Europe. That was it, in Northern Europe.
So the last band on day 3 was Mike Portnoy's Shattered Fortress, which was basically Mike Portnoy with Haken minus their drummer, and then the guitar player, this guy, his name is Eric Gillette, and he
Is he related to Jim Gillette?
no,
Oh,
he's
that would have made it for me. Jim Gillette was the 6-octave range vocalist for Nitro, for those of you who don't know. And
Yeah.
if you YouTube Jim Gillette like using his voice to shatter glasses, that's an actual thing that we'll find.
No, so he's this guitar player he's in Neil Morse's band, the Neil Morse band, and their recent album that Mike Portnoy was like, it's one of the best albums of all our careers. And I was like, that is unfortunate
Wait,
if it
which
is
album
true.
is he talking
The new
about?
Neil Morse album.
Wait, so it's not Dixie Dregs? It's just Neil Morse.
What?
Wasn't he in?
No.
Wasn't that his band forever?
No, he was never in Dixie Drake. He was in
Really?
Spock's Beard.
Oh, right. And it's
He was in Spock's Beard. He left for Jesus. And
what? I didn't hear about this.
Dude, really? Really?
Yeah.
He left Spock's Beard because God told him to.
This is amazing. I definitely did not hear this.
This is like a total. We should do a separate episode though, because
Okay.
the new album is so.
My body is ready.
The whole thing was he wanted. He kept making the same music, but without the rest of the band, and it was about Jesus. And then this album, the whole thing was that he wanted to be about Jesus, and he wanted to literally say Jesus in it. And so he did. But then this one, I listened to half of it, and there was swear, they're like, oh, it's the album of our careers. And halfway through, I was like, I don't know what this is about, but I haven't heard any mentions of is Jesus not in this one? Or like, does he show up at the end? Or like,
they couldn't afford
when
Jesus.
does Jesus show up in this story?
They're waiting for Jesus to come back.
Right. Or like, yeah, or maybe it's just like Jesus adjacent. Like, is it
gonna be a long wait.
Is it a spin-off from the Jesus series? Like, I don't know.
Okay, in 2002, Neil Morse became a born-again Christian and began a Christian rock solo career, releasing many progressive rock concept albums.
But the thing is, he
about
wasn't
his
born
new
again. He
religious
was
faith.
always Christian, and it was always in their
He
music.
just turned it up to 10.
Yeah, he just cranked the J
The J goes
J
to 11.
factor.
The J. You know, the EQ, it's got the Q and the J. Oh man,
So-
I'm looking forward to this.
All right, we'll
I know
we'll talk
nothing.
about that
this
one
is
on
not
another
something that like I heard about and forgot. This
And,
is completely off my
yeah.
radar. Because this was when 2002. That's when I like went to Berkeley and like I didn't. I mean, I was like off the grid, man.
Yeah.
Like for the whole time I was in music school, I was super broke, and all I did was like practice and drink.
Yeah. All right. So, what we should do is we should do an episode where maybe we'll sample some of his albums, because I only heard like a little bit of the first one, and then I was like, nah, I don't care. And all of them were like super long concept albums about Jesus. And the newest one, it also is, the title is obnoxious. It's called The Similitude of a Dream. And I was like, sounds like the similitude of a bad album.
I thought you were gonna say something like, "So you think you can Jesus?"
No. All right, so back to Mike Portnoy.
Now I want to start a contest show that's like, so you think you can proselytize, and it's like televangelism contest, right? Because you know how they do the things on the shows where it's like people vote via like text message, whatever.
Right.
But there's also like the text this number to donate to the Red Cross. So when you vote, you're actually paying money, right? So it's whoever does the best televangelism, like whoever raises the most money from their impassioned Jesus speech. Man, I probably shouldn't be giving this idea away live on the internet for free.
Right.
Okay, well now this will be the lost episode because it's already wonky because the first half we didn't have video. Like it's gonna mysteriously disappear from the archives, and there's gonna be a debate about whether it was because the video was messed up or because this was where
Jesus.
It's because where I mentioned this and then I went on to do this after I changed my name. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
George.
Jesus made me forget to switch the video feed.
George Soros. Jesus, take the controls.
Jesus, take the video production.
We should have a Christ music episode, because like there's so much great stuff like the Jesus Take the Wheel song,
Yeah.
and like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
so much bad Christ metal.
Oh man.
Oh, that would be great.
All right, let's talk about Mike Portnoy, because there's a
Lord's-
lot of shit on the last
The
day.
Lord's
Actually,
greatest hits.
there's a lot of shit I got to talk about on the last day.
Okay.
So let's get through Mike Portnoy real quick, because there's not much to say other than, so he played his 12-step suite, which is like 5 songs, and which I can never remember how many songs it was, because after the first like 2 of them, I didn't care anymore, because they started to get like
Well, and they're all too long, probably.
they're all too long. They all recycle riffs, which in their mind is like reusing themes, but not in like a
right,
meaningful
but
way.
they're not developed.
Right.
They're just like literal
Right.
restatements, probably.
Yeah.
And not
Occasionally, a little bit of development or recontextualization because they know how to do that. They
Yeah.
just don't most of the time. But yeah, it's pretty all over the place. So I listened to. Luckily, though, they did some. I knew I wasn't going to stay for the whole thing because it's the last band, and I didn't care about the whole 12-step thing. And also, they're mostly, gonna. That's most of what they're gonna play. And I've seen Dream Theater before, so. But
So why watch this crappy imitation?
they opened with a couple songs from Scenes from a Memory, and then they did The Mirror, which was cool.
I was gonna say that would probably actually be cool. But
Right. So I had seen online that they were going to do like that or some other, older stuff. So I was like hoping they would open with it. So they opened with those. And then the most interesting thing about that was the singer from Haken, who I think of as like James LaBrie light, which is interesting because James LaBrie is already
very
pretty
light.
light. Right.
Right.
So what was weird was during The Mirror, he did the like more aggressive sounding
Yeah.
stuff, and he did it pretty well. And I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And then how come you don't do that?
Right,
on the metal band
right.
you're in.
So that means it's not a lack of ability; it's really poor decision making.
yeah, exactly. So
which is worse.
yeah,
Even though technically there's the chance that you could fix it, it's conceptually worse.
yeah. So I left. Let's see, the first three of them, and then I left. And I think all they did was play more Scenes from Memory songs after it anyway, so I didn't miss anything. And but the interesting thing was, the guest guy from Neil Morse's band played all the solos, and that's why everyone was like, "Oh, he's the hot new guitar player." Well, also because he played Neil Morse's band, he did some vocals there, but he also played a lot of solos. He also was playing like a JP model. So he's playing all the Petrucci. So he's like a Petrucci clone, playing all this stuff, and people are like, "Oh, you gotta watch that guy." I'm like, because he's gonna play a Petrucci solo. Like,
Be like,
That's why I posted.
that'll come in handy 20 years ago.
right? And also my whole thing was like, yeah, if I wanted to watch some random asshole play John Petrucci solos, I'd go back in time to my teenage bedroom and I watch myself play. It's like, or I'd go home and look in the mirror. But the weird thing was that there's also two guitar players from Haken, and
Wait, so there's 3 guitar players.
there's
on
3
stage.
guitar players, and you know what doesn't sound any cooler is when you have 3 people playing the same Petrucci riff. And it also made me really realize that even though he layers the fuck out of stuff sometimes in the studio, Petrucci still writes so that when it's one guitar live,
Right.
it sounds normal.
Well, he also has his rig set up so
Yeah.
that it basically sounds like it's multi-track guitars.
But
He
it's
has,
still
like,
just the one part, right?
right.
He doesn't track a lot of layers that aren't like occasionally, but usually stuff that he could easily, put in a patch like a harmonizer or something.
Yeah.
But so I kept waiting for it to matter, but mostly I was just like, it just sounds like yeah, it's cool. You guys are. It's very nice that you can all play this at the same time, but that's called like being a musician, and so like cool, but it doesn't add anything
Yeah.
to the music. And one of them also had a headless guitar. Oh wait, they both had. One of them had a headless guitar for Petrucci, and then the other one also had a Petrucci. So 2 of them were playing Petrucci models, and then the one guy had his headless guitar, which did sound like shit because it's fucking headless guitar. And it was so harsh. I was like, maybe you just already lost that high end or something?
Oh no, that's usually the thing. Most guys who have that buzzy tone, it's because their hearing's damaged, and
Yeah.
the first thing that goes is your high end.
Yeah. I don't know.
So they just keep turning up the highs.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. You don't have to turn up with these guitars. They're already turned up because they just
Are
like
they
the headless.
turned? Are they
Like you
turned?
remember that I tried the headless. 'Cause he has a Kiesel. He has
Yeah.
a Kiesel headless, like the one I tried at NAMM.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I heard that he had like just got it, so it also probably had the stock pickups, so it was super. But instead playing Dream Theater riffs. But other than that, they sounded fine, and also the keyboard player from Haken also clearly loves Jordan Rudess. Like, he makes the same. Okay, so you know how like
Is he playing with a wah?
I don't know if you noticed back in the day, like I always see these guitar players, not so much lately, but guitar players back in the day at ProgPower who would like, they looked like they had John Petrucci's hairstyle. One of his guitars, although at the time it would be like a Universe, right? And then like they would make the same like facial expressions and like, because you know how Petrucci like doesn't know what to do on stage and like kind of still, you know, he's never, or like he's unfit, like he almost seems like he used to know more. Like if you look at old video, like early like images and words period videos, it was more like, I'm in a metal band,
Well,
but
right,
now
no.
he's kind of just like,
Well, that's the thing. No, if you watch the videos from before they had James LeBray in the band, like after they kicked Chuck out, but before like you could tell that they were like, dude, we're like fucking on to something here,
Yeah.
and like they were like really excited to play, and the
Right,
songs were
right.
actually different.
Yeah.
Right. But then as time went on, it was kind of like it got dad rock really fucking fast.
yeah. And so he like, so like Petrucci has the thing where he kind of like nods and like that, and then
Yeah, he's been doing that for a long time.
and then but Jordan Rudess has this thing where he looks like he should be conducting or something, because he's kind of like nodding, like, but it's very kind of like gentle, and he's like playing like this kind of, he does like this kind of thing a lot. He's like, dude. And the dude from Haken was doing that exact same thing, and I'm like I don't know. And
Did
like
he-
more so than when they play Haken shit. I'm like, you don't have to act like the band you're covering.
Did he borrow the wizard costume?
No.
From
no wizard
to cosplay.
No,
Jordan
they
Rudess.
didn't cosplay him as much. Like I said, the guitar players in the past have cosplayed as John Petrucci, but this time not so much.
But as you know, John Petrucci was cosplaying Christopher Guest in The Princess Bride,
right.
the six-fingered man.
Right? Because that's so bad without the image, though. Anyway, go on
My Instagram.
Go on Rich's Instagram.
It's Swank Skillionaire. I was watching the Princess Bride. I was in a hotel in California, and the Princess Bride was on, and I was like, this seems like a great way to kill my evening.
Yeah.
And fucking that part at the end of the fire swamp, right? So Wesley they get through the fire swamp, and you know, so they think they're saved, and they go to kiss, and Humperdinck shows up, right? And they show him and the six-fingered man, and I'm like, holy shit. Christopher Guest as a six-fingered man, that like, I feel like that was the look John Petrucci then had.
Yeah, in the 90s,
And
yeah.
so I go, John Petrucci modeling his look after Christopher Guest is the most Spinal Tap thing of all time.
And then I saw it and I was like, oh my God, he's trying to be the six-fingered man. It makes sense now. How could I play faster? If only I had six fingers like that guy. He must have, like, I just imagine Petrucci watching that movie, and like the only thing he takes away from it is like, man, having six fingers must be great. Like, if I had six fingers, I'd play all the notes more somehow. So that explains everything. All right. All right. So last day, the first band, Terra Maze, canceled.
Wait, are Pyramaze and Tiramaze different
No.
bands?
Yes. They're different bands, but they use the same band name generator.
It's one letter different.
No, it's TERA versus PYRA. So
Okay.
Pyramaze and either Tira or Terra Maze. Either way, it's nonsense and stupid. It's a very bad band name. And they canceled because their lead guitar player couldn't make it.
Because they suck.
One guitar player. They have two guitar players.
Yeah.
One of them couldn't make it. They canceled. The rest of them were there. And the singer even put on his stage outfit and face paint for one of the parties one night.
So that the ladies would know.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, but I was like, everybody else has backing tracks. You don't have tracks of like your one guitar player or maybe like just play and like there won't be so like, but I was like, he's so important. Like, and they had another guitar player. So it was like, but that guy's parts are so important. Don't play without me. I don't know. That was
right, and
bullshit.
the other dude couldn't learn, like, because
Yeah.
again, like the Petruch, like there's definitely a rhythm guitar under all of his solos, and
Right.
then he plays live, and
Yeah.
it's fine.
Right. So exactly. But this actually worked out great because Seven Spires was way better than they would have been.
Because you didn't have to listen.
Well, this other band was actually okay. Like Seven Spires.
Oh, this is the Berkeley band.
Berkeley band. Although I was a little surprised by that, but I'll get to why. But I've also, to be fair, I've also realized some of my complaints may not have been their fault. They filled in at the last minute, and the guitar player was
Define
playing
last minute, like 2 days notice or like
a
2
week.
weeks notice.
No,
Okay, like a week.
like a week before they announced, because they just
But I'm willing to bet they've played a show before.
Oh yeah, no, they played shows before, but they didn't. But I think they well no, and in that sense they were great.
Right,
like
yeah.
they were actually like yeah, no, they knew their stuff, and the whole thing was like, I've heard a lot of buzz about their singer and Adrienne Cowan, and I guess I found out she also writes some of the stuff, because it turns out I assumed she was a vocal major, but she was actually a composition major. But then I was like, really? But then we talked about, like, a lot of composition majors do not quite know what they're signing up for. And then they're like, what's with all this atonal stuff? I just want to
Right.
write pretty music. And it's like, well, then why are you a composition major?
Right.
Take music theory.
Right,
Like,
just read a book.
yeah.
Like there's scores, you can just copy them.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
So, but she's a really good singer, and she's good at harsh and clean vocals. Although she does a lot of one specific kind of harsh vocal that is like, I don't know why she does that one so much. And there was one song where I was like, it was the whole song, and I was like, oh, actually, it was. Did you actually watch that Cabaret of Dreams video? Because I know you were like, this looks bad.
I'm pretty sure I didn't make it all the way through.
That song, I didn't until just the other day when I was like, oh, what? Yeah, I was looking at their videos, and I didn't realize this was the song that it was. But I remember hearing it because it's got this like swing to it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it's not quite Carney music, but it's like,
But it's also not quite Dark Carnival.
right. But it's like a step away, right? So it's not as bad as like straight up like but it's like a step away in terms of things we can. It sounds like Diablo Swing Orchestra, which is not a great thing. But anyway, she did this harsh kind of like high pitched, but like I don't know. It was like not a pleasant sound, and she did it throughout the entire song. And it was like there's no dynamics in that song. Now there are dynamics in other songs, so I was about to be like, she only does the one thing, and then it's like, but then she did other songs and there were dynamics. So like there is variation between their songs. There's a lot of good stuff, so I don't want to overemphasize just the bad stuff. But like my main complaints, the guitar player's tone sucked, but I think it was just backline, and also I don't think it was his guitar, because in the videos he's playing a 7-string Michelangelo Battio model,
Whoa.
which is very distinctive
The
because it has
Dean?
the ridiculous flame shit on it.
The
Yeah,
Dean.
yeah, the 7-string Dean.
Wait. That's so weird. Man, now I really want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I want to be like, what? Because maybe, like, I ended up playing weird guitars because I'm like, the frets are the right size. Like, you know, but
I don't think anybody's accidentally playing this guitar because it looks ridiculous.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
have you seen?
well, no, he has like 12 different signature models with them. That's like, right? Or is that Rusty Cooley? One of them has like way too many signature models.
I think that might be Rusty Cooley, because this is the. I mean, he has a few, but this is the 7-string with like the like ridiculous. It's this one. Yeah, here. I'll put it up on this.
Oh man, that headstock
screen
is
for
bad.
our viewers at home. Yeah, and it's also just super busy, and like it's both like, I guess, supposed to be flames and metal, maybe, but whatever. Anyway,
Well, maybe those are like bones.
but
Maybe it's like.
but at the
skeleton.
show, all he had was a black 6-string Ibanez, which looked like it had stock pickups. So
So they like went to Guitar Center and
or
like,
no, they probably just borrowed it from somebody, but like somebody who plays shitty guitars, because like that is like the guitar I want to see least anywhere is a black RG with stock pickups. You know what I mean? Like that's the guitar that everybody whose tone I hate plays.
Yeah,
That I'm
yeah.
always like, okay, if you can't get a new guitar, just put pickups in it. Just
Right.
Any pickups
Right.
that aren't those fucking
No,
stock pickups.
right, that's the thing,
Will sound
like,
so much better.
I've managed to make a bunch of Indonesian RGs sound good, and there's one way to do it. It's to change the pickups.
Yeah. So I don't know, but so that kind of sounds shitty. But I was like, maybe that wasn't his fault because it wasn't his guitar. And if I had to play a show at the last minute on somebody else's crappy Ibanez with crappy pickups, it might not. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
see some things not coming through as well because of that. And then the other kind of nitpick I had was that the drummer kind of did. It was like his drum parts are like 90% kick drum, and that's a common metal
Like it's all
thing.
blast beat? Or like,
No, it's just, but it's and he varied it. Like he's actually
Oh.
good with the kick, but it like if you ignore what's happening with the kick drum, there's not much going on.
Okay.
Because the like snare and the cymbals are mostly kind of like keeping everything. It was like you know, and like again, he changed it up. It wasn't just straight like power metal style, but it was that constant. You know, like you, and again, that you get that low end buildup, but that part's not as much his fault. But the point is, it was just like I didn't think the drums were super interesting outside of that, but they weren't that bad. It is a nitpicking, but like again, compared to everything else, it was.
Do you know what year they are? Like, are they?
I'm pretty sure they graduated.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they're out, but I don't really know actually. And they probably didn't graduate that long ago. But like I've heard of them before, and I know that. Some of them
I've never heard
have
of
been
them.
at. Well, I've heard of it because they've been at ProgPower. So this is the other thing about them filling at the last minute. I was like, they were here anyway, weren't they? Like
They're in the
like I think they're like
community.
they're one of those bands like Pyramids who probably just like go to ProgPower together, and so they're like, and for a second I was like, maybe they brought their instruments because they were like, somebody's gonna cancel, but I don't know. But I don't think they brought that much of their own gear. But let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, they have a lot of backing tracks that I couldn't hear, and that they probably should just hire like a keyboard player or something because it's a huge part. Like somebody was
You
like
mean a DJ?
Somebody called them symphonic metal, and I was like, I didn't think they sounded like it. And it was like, oh yeah, we'll listen to the album. And I was like, oh yeah, because also most of the backing tracks were apparently like orchestral samples that she had programmed, right?
We need to come up with a more pejorative name for instead of symphonic metal.
Well, right. That's exactly.
Synthphonic metal.
Well, so okay, but so it's funny because in her case, she actually they were like like symphonic samples at least, and she studied composition, so she probably like programmed and everything, but that doesn't make it mixed well.
Yeah.
And even on the album, they're not really mixed that well, and it again, it's probably just like, okay, you program all your orchestral samples,
but it's all,
and then
I mean,
you just
they're samples,
Right,
though, yeah.
right.
Oh, speaking of orchestral on an album, so the new Septic Flesh is actually as cool as everyone is saying it is, and it like has a lot of orchestral. But it's I can't tell if they're the super high quality Hollywood samples or if they did actually like record those parts.
Yeah, I don't
Sounds
know.
pretty good.
So that's they need their tracks to be audible, or just get a keyboard player because it's such a big. Again, they're like fronting tracks because it's such a significant. I forgot to mention who else had fronting track. Orphaned Land had a lot of violin fronting tracks because they have like all the Middle Eastern instrumentation is backing tracks. And yet it's incredibly prominent because it's like a lot of it is the melody over just like metal chugs.
yeah.
And it was like, okay, that's very prominent violin. Maybe somebody could play it like on a keyboard or something. I don't know. And I thought they used to have keys, but maybe not. I don't know. But they definitely don't now. All right. So that was 7 Spires. Oh yeah. So then DynaZty, which a lot of people kept insisting they're called DynaZty, and I said that is incorrect because there's a Z in their name, and why would you pass up that opportunity, especially when you're a butt rock band? What the fuck? You DynaZty. Like, so, and I also noticed that like there was this whole thing like, oh, they used to be butt rock, but now they're kind of more power metal. They're just butt rock with more power metal elements to the butt rock, but it was so butt rock. Here's how butt rock it was. The singer came out and during the first song ripped his leather pants. That is literally the most butt rock thing that could happen.
Well, it depends, because you could just come out with pants that don't have a butt, like David Lee Roth. But those two,
or Prince,
like, it's on the same level.
Yeah. Or yeah, well, like if you have like chaps or something, but oh fuck, is that all? I think that might be all I have to say about them. I'm just like, so they're just so butt rock, but they're very popular.
Define very popular
with the ProgPower crowd.
Okay.
Right.
So not very popular.
No, if I say if somebody was popular, it means at ProgPower, not in any other context. They're also from Sweden. Like every band except for Seven Spires on Saturday was from Sweden.
So there's actually a bunch of Swedish butt rock bands, like currently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, I forget the other one I heard of, but
well, I knew a bunch because someone I don't want to mention
is in one or is in one.
No,
or?
like listen to that stuff like all the time.
Yeah. All right, so DynaZty. Oh yeah, so Snowy Shaw was actually good and kind of interesting. And let me find the set list because he's been in like. Well, here, let me find the list of bands he's been in too, because I could never remember.
I think is a lot.
All of them. It is. So Therian. So they opened with a Therian song. They did a Merciful Fate song and a King Diamond song.
Oh, nice.
And I'm not sure if they ended up doing the Dimmu, because I didn't stay for the whole thing, but I was outside, so I could still kind of like, I could see the monitor and I could hear the low rumble from inside. But he sounded pretty good. And he was in Dream Evil. And he did, and apparently he wrote the Book of Heavy Metal, the song. And so that was the song that I wanted to hear Dream Evil play, but they canceled. And they're coming back next year, but he played it, and I was like, they can just, tell them they can stay home. He played the one song that I wanted to hear from them. And it was pretty hilarious, because
nice.
And let's see. So, so this is great. So, I have to minor backstory on this. The former male singer of Amaranthe, Jake E. That's the name he goes by. Jake
formerly
E. Formerly
male
E.
or formerly the singer?
Formerly the singer.
Okay.
He was okay. So a while before Amaranthe played, he was at ProgPower as backup singer for Camelot, and that was the year that the cock blocketing happened. And so when Amaranthe came back, it was Cock Blocketing 2, The Revenge. I forget what subtitle I put on it, but it didn't happen because he didn't show up to the party. So this year was supposed to be the Cock Blocketing 3. What did I call it?
Block to the Future.
No.
That's what I would have called it.
The Cock Blocketing. Oh, wait, why am I blanking on this? Block with a Vengeance.
Oh, okay, that's
yeah.
I'll take it.
So, but he quit Amaranthe because they got too poppy for the guy who dressed like he was in a boy band. And but he has a new band, and somebody spotted him, so it was like, the cock blocketing's back on. And I was like, well, yeah, if he shows up to the fucking party, and also like he's not an Amaranthe, so I don't know if I give a shit, right?
Right.
But they played the new video for the song from his new band, and after that I was like, all right, well, if I see him at the party, like, fuck that guy, because it's fucking same shit. In fact, it sounds like he went back, like he's in Amaranthe and they get too poppy, and so he just went back to the beginning of Amaranthe, because it's basically that kind of like really straightforward. It literally just sounds like early Amaranthe without the extra vocalists, and the video also was exactly like one of the early videos. It was like this, the faux action movie videos that ends with "to be continued," and you're like, no, it won't be, and also I don't care. And on top of that, in the video, he has a totally new look, right? Like he changes his look. Like he went, with Camelot, and when they first started Amaranthe, he had white guy dreads. And
Yeah, I
then
remember that.
He cut those and he started dressing like K-Fed, like trucker.
I missed that.
Well,
I was already.
There's pictures because I Facebook during ProgPower was like, hey, remember this? And I was like, yeah, I do. And it was happened to be a picture with him in his K-Fed outfit, although I may not be able to find it right now. So whatever, later. But
See, that's the search algorithm we need. The one where you're like, this person looking this way.
right. But his new look is more just like leather jacket, kind of like straightforward metal thing, except that his hair was like braided and he had like a really short tail, which in the 80s
Like a
was
rat
called
tail?
a rat tail.
Yeah.
And if you weren't around for the 80s, I think it's probably in the at least top 3 worst male hairstyles ever. And part of the reason I think that way is as a child, when I went to get a haircut one time and like the normal guy wasn't there. And so this other woman cut my hair and without my consent gave me a rat tail. So I found out like when I got home, I'm like, what the fuck is this thing? We went back and got it fixed because I was not going to be caught dead with a fucking rat
I thought you were
tail.
gonna say, and then we just cut it off.
Well, that's probably what we should have done, but I think for some reason we went back. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe
You needed to-
I was a child.
you needed
but
to-
I was I was like, I'm never using it again because I think I did eventually, but whatever. But the point is, as a child, I knew that the rat tail was garbage, and I was not going to be caught dead with that shit. But Jake E. So anyway, this all becomes relevant because towards the end of Snowy Shaw's set, he had to cut it short because he only had an hour, and he was like, "All right, we got 2 options, and one of them is Jake E comes out and we do a little acoustic song and he's gonna do guest vocals." And the audience was like, no. The audience vetoed Jake E. So they did the other song, and then Jake E like just kind of came out and then like did a little dance and left. And I saw it on the monitor. I'm like, who is that guy came out and then didn't sing? And then like it was Jake E because so the audience cock blocked him.
Nice.
They stage cock blocked him. He was not allowed to perform. And I was thrilled with that. So technically, successful cock blocking. And then I think they ended with whatever other song Snowy Shaw was going to do, and then it was done. I didn't watch Pain because I heard they're like industrial or something, but I don't give a shit. They're another one of these bands that is like hasn't been around in a while, and like people are like, "Oh my god, I've heard of them," and it's like, yeah, but
I've heard of them. That's familiar.
yeah, but it didn't matter. So after them was Amaranthe.
They headlined?
No.
Oh.
Catatonia headline.
Oh.
Which I have nothing to say about because
Sleepy?
I left because they would have put me to sleep.
Sleepy Time headline?
Yeah, exactly. And
I love Catatonia, and I saw them live one time, and I was like, this is why I don't play shows.
Yeah,
That was...
yeah, exactly. I saw them once because I think it might have been it's not same bill as somebody I wanted to see, and I stayed for a few of their songs, and I was literally like, I'm gonna fall asleep standing up because it's just lulling me to sleep. It's so sleepy. But anyway, Amaranthe. I mean, it's literally the same thing. They came out and did like all their newest dumb pop songs, and I left. Although the one thing I will say is it is still hilarious every single time the harsh vocalist comes in, because it's always like this super, again, more, even the early stuff was poppy, but it's literally just pop songs now.
Yeah.
With like jugga, 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 and occasionally like and occasionally that's what he sounds like. It literally, if it wasn't supposed to be metal, it would be a rapper, right?
Yeah.
It literally would be like, this is the rap part, but it's metal, so we can't have rap.
Wait, where are they from?
Sweden. Everybody who
I
played
always feel-
on Saturday was from Sweden, except for Seven Spires.
I always, like, when I imagine them being from, like, Australia or New Zealand. I never imagine them being from Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden. Best and the worst.
Max Martin. You can thank Max Martin for
Thanks,
that.
Max Martin. Yeah, so I didn't stay for their whole set because they, sweet. Oh, but I do have a good story about them.
Okay.
So I wore my Your Music is Bad shirt. I told people I would wear it at least during Amaranthe, if not all day Saturday. But then I was like, I don't want to I don't know about these other bands yet, so let me not sending the wrong signals. So I put it on for Amaranthe, and then I wasn't going to stay for Catatonia anyway. So, and also, like, if for some reason, you know, the ProgPower secret police find out and want to throw me out, like, that's cool. I'm done anyway.
You're
It's
like,
Saturday, show's over. I was only going to stay for a few. So I made a point, like, it's pretty easy to get pretty far up at like any set in ProgPower, unless it's like,
because there's no like,
yeah, there's always people coming and going, and there's always some people who, like, that's not the band they came to see. So I got pretty far up, and there was a space in front of me, but I left it because if I got too close to the person in front of me, you wouldn't be able to see my shirt, right?
yeah.
And then at some point, also, you could see that, so there was also a recurring complaint that the stage lights, they got new lights at the venue, but the problem is most of them are frequently pointed at the audience. So everyone's just like, can you stop blinding me? And the answer is no. They did not hear your complaints. They will not in any way adjust the lighting to not blind you. But the point is, there was constantly light. I could tell my shirt was well illuminated. And it's a blue shirt, you know, in a sea of black. It's very visible.
Oh, right.
So at some point, I thought the guitar player, Olaf, saw it, because I thought I saw him make this face that I saw other people, like when I was walking to the show, a couple times I'd walk by people and they would kind of give me this weird look, but they weren't making eye contact. They're like, oh, they're looking at my shirt and being like, what? So I thought he saw it, but I'm told he did not. But this girl we know on Facebook, Valerie, she goes to ProgPower, and she is a fan of Amaranthe, and she was wearing an Amaranthe shirt, and so she was like, oh, they have, she thinks they have a good sense of humor. What they actually have is an inability to differentiate between their music being bad and people like not getting it or something. I don't know what they think's going on. She said they frequently will repost bad reviews, and her words were, they know they're controversial. So they're not controversial unless being like bad is like a new, like maybe they're controversial to like metal fans who like a lot of bad metal, and they're like, I don't know if I should like this because is it
well, to go back to the Princess Bride, I don't think that word means what
Right,
you think it means.
exactly.
Like, being
You keep using
controversial would be like, the Earth's only 1,000 years old.
Right.
Like, dinosaurs didn't exist. Like, that would be
yeah.
controversial. But
right.
being like, our people don't like our band because they don't get it. That's not.
Yeah.
No.
And it's also there's nothing to not get. It's just pop music with like guitars and a death metal guy. Oh, that was the other thing. I couldn't tell. I've seen at least 3 of their harsh vocalists. I think I've seen all 3 of them live. I think they've seen all of them at ProgPower, and there may have even been more than that, but I know of at least 3. I don't know their names or anything. They all sound exactly the same.
Sure.
And I could not tell any of them apart. And they're always like, here's our new harsh guy. That's what it sounds like to me. Exactly what they're like. Amaranthe, if you ever need someone to fill in your harsh vocals, I could do it. I don't need to know the lyrics or the songs. Just point at me when it's my turn. I know exactly how to do that shit. So at the after party, Valerie went up to Olaf, the guitar player for Amaranthe, and like asked if he had seen my shirt, and he said no. So then she's like you got to go, and I'm like, all right, fine. If you want to like make this guy look at my shirt and be like, he means you, then like it's on you, right? Like, okay, but
You're like, we didn't start the
that's
fire.
not usually how I do this, but I'm not against it, right? So I went over to talk to the guy, and like, so there's a picture on my Instagram and also Facebook. You know, if you want to see the picture of him like pointing to the shirt, he's the one who looks like Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter, even more so because he's like crouching down, and it's weird. But yeah, so. But the thing was, like, yeah, so he was totally like, oh yeah, but like I don't think he realized, and I didn't talk to him for that long. I don't think he realized it was like a show. Like, I think he thought that he was like, yeah, people make these shirts and stuff. I'm like, do people make a lot of shirts to tell you your band sucks? Because I didn't make this for, like, I didn't get a chance to like. I was already like, I'd already been drinking a bunch and stuff. So, and it was the last night, so I was like, party, and so I was just like, I didn't get a chance to properly express that this is like a show. I didn't make this shirt just for you guys. I would not put that much effort into shaming you.
And if you did, you'd probably be a lot more clear
Right.
about, you would have been like, Amaranthe sucks.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Or like, where's Jake E or something like that. Who also, again, was not spotted at the party at all.
I still
so.
think you should form a band with him and call it Jake E. Lee.
no relation.
It's Jake E. and then / Lee. Like when you see it in print,
Jake
and then
E / Lee.
and then
Yeah.
people just say Jake E.
Well,
Lee.
after he his new band has one of the former members of In Flames, but like not like one who I think quit early enough for it to be
Right.
an endorsement of quality. And again, it just sounds like poppy Swedish metal, like later In Flames. So when that doesn't go anywhere or whatever, or maybe it will, who knows? Being simple and generic is like,
they'll be playing ProgPower in 2 years.
maybe. I mean, they had him. They showed his video. It was so funny too because a bunch of people, all of like the people in the cock blocketing like message group, like left right before they played that video, and like they were walking away as I was like, guys, it's Jake E. No, wait, it's Jake E.'s video. Don't leave. Like, and they didn't hear me. And then I had to go find and be like, it was Jake E.'s video. I mean, it was terrible. You didn't actually miss anything. And it sounded like early Amaranthe, but without the. But yeah, I stayed and watched it and I was like, this is hilarious. And like at some point, he suddenly has a gun and like, because it's supposed to be like an action movie,
Yeah,
but
right.
without a plot.
Or I was gonna say, or action.
Right. Well, there eventually was action. Like there was some running around, and then eventually he had a gun, and then it was like to be continued. And I was like, no, it's not.
Like, you know how like the rest of the world always goes on about like how gun obsessed the U.S. is?
Yeah.
Do like other countries make action movies that like don't have guns, or like guns?
I'm sure they
or gun is like, because you know in a U.S. movie, right? You shoot at stuff all the time. And
Yeah.
then, like, the crazy escalation is, like, the guy gets the grenade launcher, right?
Right.
Or do, like, action movies in other countries, like, is the, like, crazy escalation, like, you pull out the gun?
I don't know.
Like, oh, shit, he's got a gun. He means
I don't know.
business.
We have to
And then,
watch some foreign action movies.
and then you, like, fire, like, 3 rounds, and, like, a car flips over. Like, how does that work?
Important questions.
Thanks, monoculture.
Right. So yeah. Well, like that's pretty much it.
I'm glad I didn't go. Sounds
But listen-
sounds terrible.
Next year. Oh yeah, this is important. So briefly talk about next year's announcement. I'm just gonna talk about stuff that matters because there's like so many bands I'd never heard of. All right, here I'll just read them off. So this is next year's 4-day lineup in order of days. First day, Manimal,
Never heard of them.
Persephone, which is a band that I've only heard of because they were previously supposed to play and then they didn't make it. So there's like 3 or 4 bands next year who are like returns that didn't make it the first time.
I feel like I've heard of a band called Persephone's Dream, but not
the same.
Persephone.
Right, not the same band.
Okay, so then I have not heard of this band. I didn't know maybe if they were like, we shortened the name because we realized like how stupid it was.
I mean, I don't know.
But-
It could be related. I'm not going to find out
okay,
right
but
now.
Persephone's Dream is an actual band. That's not just a
Right.
terrible name, I imagine.
No, that's definitely
Okay.
a real band. I've heard of them as well.
Okay.
Then Bloodbound, which used to be one of Urban's band. Urban sang on their first album and then was no longer in the band because he never stays in a band.
Okay.
So
Is that... They should look into that.
no, they're terrible. But
No, I mean why he never stays in a band.
Oh.
Because he
Oh,
seems
yeah,
like
yeah.
an all right guy.
and he's a good singer, but he also keeps. Well, for one, the bands he's in seem to get more and more like straightforward and simple. The one he's in now,
So he'll be an Amaranthe.
no, because that's like that has all the like programmed synthy shit. Yeah, they also are like a fronting track band because you got all these people on stage, and yet most of the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo is like what makes it sound like pop music is all the backing tracks, which is ironic because really successful pop artists don't use backing tracks anymore because at least the ones who can afford it mostly figured out when you have actual players, it adds a lot more energy to the show. And when you're doing your like 50 costume changes, they can vamp and shit. And so I've noticed most pop artists now have like, I mean, usually the band includes like 3 keyboard players.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering where all the keyboard players went, they're actually working. And that's why nobody wants to play keys in a metal band, because they're like, or I could get paid.
Yeah, right.
So that's one thing the music industry has done right. So Bloodbound, yeah. Labyrinth playing Return to Heaven Denied in its entirety, which they didn't do last time. They played some of it and some of the sequel. Now, this is important because the sequel is garbage. That sounds vaguely like the original, and the original is possibly the best power metal album.
It's like that better than Raw. What else is even in the running?
Yeah, I don't know. But so the thing is, next year it's like Return to Heaven Denied, not Denied, because they're going to play it.
Returned.
But if you're a fan of Return to Heaven, of the part 2, which should be titled Return to Heaven Denied,
Right.
then next year is Return to Heaven Denied, because they're not going to play that shit. They're just going to play the original. And therefore we achieved 3 steps of nesting Return to Heaven Denied.
It is the Matryoshka doll of
And
Labyrinth.
then after them...
Oh, but Labyrinth, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then after them is Redemption, a.k.a. Nick Van Dyke's Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
No, thank you.
And he has a new member because Ray is no longer singing for them. It's now going to be Tom from Evergrey, to which I say, cash them checks, homie.
Cash them checks.
Cash them checks.
Cash money.
And then the headliner is James Labrie, probably phoning it in.
Wait, but is he gonna play Dream Theater like Mike Portnoy did, or is he gonna play like Mole Muzzler?
Well, he's definitely gonna play solo stuff. I would be surprised if he didn't do at least like a Dream Theater song or 2, but it's whatever he wants to do.
Is you think they're gonna play like a transatlantic song or something? Wait, was he on that? I don't remember. Or was it Mike Portnoy was on that? I feel like he was on it, but
Portnoy,
maybe not.
he wasn't in the band, if for sure. I don't know if he did a guest thing, maybe, but Portnoy was in Transatlantic. Yeah, I don't know. He's probably just going to do a bunch of solo shit and probably, you got to do a token Dream Theater song.
They should do a Winter Rose special set. Just play it all the way through.
I'm saying just play the first Mole Muzzler, because that one's kind of okay.
That's the only one I heard.
Also, it's the only one I heard. Well, the second one I remember hearing someone being like, "No thanks." So I feel like it's the only good one, or maybe it's just the only one I bothered to listen. And it was like the novelty has worn off. But you know what though? I'm gonna listen to it again for next year and see whether it holds up at all. We should probably do a podcast about it. All right. So, oh my God, this is so confusing because it's like day 3 and day 4 on the outside,
right,
and in the middle is day 1 and day 2. Oh wait, so that's why I'm reading the wrong order.
You're already like way off.
God damn it.
It's fine.
All right, so I'll just do day 4. Those are the main days, and then we'll flash back to the opening 2. So here we go. Bands I never heard of: Triosphere, Eclipse, Soen, Ver. So Soen is like Soen, and then Ver is Vuur. At that point I was like, you're just throwing numbers together. These are not real bands. Don't fuck with me. Like this is
Vor looks like that. I would expect that to be a black metal band. Like if that's your name, I would expect you to be like.
Unfortunately, it's just
look. You Google it. It's just a bunch of flames.
It's literally so Anarchy van Giersbergen.
Look, it's the picture I imagined for Twilight Force.
yeah.
Only not in cartoon form.
So Anarchy van Giersbergen, she did this Arjun, Arion dude. You know how he does these like side things that even though it should just be Arion, it's like even though he wrote it, he calls it something else. He did one of those with her called The Gentle Storm, and she stole the band and started a new band and gave it this dumb name.
So it says it's Dutch for fire. So maybe that's why I get pictures of flames.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. And then
look, flames in the shape of a heart. But it looks like you know how like when you go get your artisanal barista coffee, like they like make the foam art. That's what this looks like.
All right, let me get through this.
I'm guessing they're terrible.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, no, it's just boring because it's just Anarchy van Giersbergen singing over really simple metal, which is, like the last 3 Devin Townsend albums.
I was going to say everything she's done.
Yeah, and also the last 3 Devin Townsend albums.
Which I don't think I heard because they're terrible.
But she literally sang like on the
that
entirety
was
of several
her.
Devin Townsend. Yes. And it sounds the same also as that.
No, but they ruined other like they redid some old Devin songs like plus her, and they were worse.
Just for that live thing.
I don't know which album it was on. It was bad.
All right, so and then Ailstorm.
They were at least entertaining when we saw them, but they're not like the music's not like good.
And they're
But they don't take themselves seriously, so I feel like they kind of get a pass.
But they're going to get an unpass, which we'll get to in a second. And then the headliner for that day is Tarja, formerly of Nightwish, and her solo stuff. Guess what it sounds like? Shitty Nightwish. It's like if you took anything remotely interesting out of Nightwish, that's what it would sound like. So I am gonna not watch that shit. So then, okay, here's the pre-shows, day 1 and 2. Day 1, Ross the Boss, which looked just as dumb as it sounds like.
Which is not a burger joint.
Right.
It is not a North Philadelphia burger joint.
Then Glory Hammer, which is relevant to Ailstorm because the guy from Ailstorm is also behind Glory Hammer. And they are terrible.
They are terrible.
Then Nocturnal Rites, which is all right, but
They're okay, but I don't want to see them.
here's what was funny about Nocturnal Rites is when they announced him, I didn't know Per Nilsson is in the band now, who we just saw filling in with Meshuggah, and he's also in Scar Symmetry, and I also think I've heard of some other shit. So like I was like, is he just in all the bands now? Because I didn't know it was him at first, but I saw the band photos, and first of all, they showed multiple band photos, and he wasn't in both of them because they showed one that was like current and then an old one.
Yeah.
But I just knew it was some bald dude with a huge beard, and I was like, is that him, or is it just some other dude with a beard, or is he in all of the Swedish bands now? But no, he's just in all the Swedish bands now. And then the headliner that day is Voyager, and they're all right, but like they've played a bunch of times, so it's cool. But it's one of those bands where it's like Evergrey or spoiler alert, Angra.
Except the thing is, like, Evergrey played a lot of awesome sets back in the day. Like Voyager was like okay. Like they're one of those bands where you're like, it could be a lot worse.
Yeah,
but I'm also not like, oh man, pumped to see Voyager.
Yeah, there's nothing like coming out from them that's blowing my mind, but they're consistently all right, and they're now sort of like a little gent adjacent with their new one. I haven't listened to the new one yet. Maybe it's good.
They should get more gentrified.
Maybe, like, again, I haven't listened to the new album. Maybe they get more gentrified than I know about.
All right, I'll check it out.
So okay, then day 2, some band called Cellar Darling, which is not Celador, but it is people from Illuvite. But I guess it's supposed to be different, but I don't know, because like I can't remember what Illuvite sounds like.
Terrible.
All I remember is that in the video they're in the forest, and in this one, in the video, they're in the desert.
Illuvite sounds like Tyr.
I assume it's like Illuvite, but in the desert. And then King Crow, who is
they
consistently
played before, didn't they?
Yeah, they played before,
bad.
and they opened for Pain of Salvation once in New York, and they are bad. And all the vocals are like they didn't have tracks anytime I saw them, and apparently maybe they did, but like the singer is not good, and people are like, oh, but on the album, and like, yeah, well, on the album, but never again. Like,
right? Yeah,
he's so not good.
Right? Like, I don't want to see Soilwork live because
yeah,
fucking I saw them once, and Speed could not sing. It was really bad.
Yeah. And then Dream Evil,
we already addressed,
and then Angra, which is like, all right,
who's even in Angra at this point?
The only thing that's interesting is that Fabio Leone is now the singer for Angra.
Oh, really?
And
but that's not good.
I mean,
that's interesting.
It's not bad. He's actually I liked him better with them because he didn't.
You mean better than like Rhapsody?
Yeah.
Okay, but but do you like?
No, they didn't write any good songs. Yeah. They did the thing where like they tuned down and then like decided to write really simple songs.
Wait, Anger got gentrified, or they got sludgified?
No, they just tuned down to like the tuning you would have tuned down to in the 90s. Like they're like 2 decades behind trends. They tuned down to like maybe C or D or something. It's not that low, but it's like, but we tuned down, so let's. And I don't know if it's dropped or not, but it's like it might as well be because it's
dropped or not.
Because that's how simple like the straight ahead the songs were. So it was really, I had no interest in it. But he sounds really good on the old stuff. Is the thing he can actually because he can sing that. He's a ridiculously good singer who chooses to sing a lot
really
of terrible
bad
shit.
music, yeah.
But he doesn't do the thing from Rhapsody where he would do this like half step, like semitone wide vibrato,
Yeah.
right? So he toned that down, and also he would do a lot of like scooping in Angra.
Would you say he semi-toned down the semitone vibrato?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. That's what's going on next year. At least Labyrinth will be cool. And Glory Hammer.
What day of the week is Labyrinth?
Friday.
See, if they were Saturday, I would just show up for Saturday.
I mean, you could just show up for Friday. Saturday's not good.
but I have to like get off work.
Right.
Like if it's Saturday, you just show up on Saturday.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to take off work to see this garbage.
Yeah. But I don't know. Yeah. All right. So that's the ProgPower. I think that pretty much covers it. Ended up doing a full couple hours anyway. All right. Anything else to add?
I listened to the new Contortionist today.
Okay. I haven't listened to that yet.
It's okay, but language was better.
I'll check it out. We'll talk about that another time. All right. I'll turn it off now.